Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Welcome to Global One Media's exclusive one-on-one discussions with company executives as they share insights into their unique journey. I'm your host, Ashley Berry, and we are thrilled you're joining us today. We're welcoming Adam Cegielski, CEO and Director at Goldline Resources, a gold exploration company with a sharp focus on properties in Sweden and Finland. They're listed on the TSXV as GLDL and the OTC markets as TLLZF. Adam, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So it seems that your Paubäcken project is moving forward steadily. You've recently announced the initial results of your drilling program. Can you tell us about the main highlights from those results and sort of help our audience understand exactly what it is you're doing there?
Okay, so at Paubäcken, we're running a 1,500-meter drill program to continue the original discovery from last year. Due to recent market environment, we were a little bit delayed in our drilling, but we're basically going in to test a concept. We have this 5-kilometer anomaly, this structural anomaly that we identified through geophysics, and we're testing about 800 meters of that anomaly to the north and south of our original discovery hole. So we're about 7 holes into our program right now. The first result came out, which was 14.55 meters of 2.44 grams per ton, which is pretty much the exact grade we had on the original hole. This is a step down hole. So we basically tested and confirmed that the mineralization continues at depth. So now basically we know that this structure runs, I would say, at least 100 meters plus as a down dip. And now we're going to test along that 700-meter corridor. And what we're trying to show is basically a proof of concept that we have a mineralized system here through the reconnaissance drilling that we're doing. The other holes that we've drilled have all hit the target rock at this point, so we don't have any further assays, but we're obviously very excited to see target rock being hit in every hole that we've drilled so far. So even though the program is a limited size program, it is actually quite easily going to confirm the thesis here that we do have a mineralized structure and that it runs over at least 600-700 meters of this 5-kilometer trend.
Well, certainly some successful steps taken despite the delays. That's wonderful news. What prompted you to start working on this project to begin with? And why is that location specifically so attractive for a mineral exploration project?
So obviously, the idea behind Sweden is that they really only opened to foreign investment, in the mid-90s. So given the different market environments we've had, we've probably only had, 15 years of good exploration to apply modern, exploration techniques on a belt that is the least explored belt in the world. So it's kind of the final frontier of a tier 1 first world country where you can go in a stable political environment and find these huge opportunities. So we've got this controlled by about 80 kilometers of this belt in northern Sweden. And ultimately we ran, everything is covered by a thin glacial veneer. It's about a 15 to 20 meter overburden. So everything is blind that you're drilling. And about a year ago, we went and we drilled these shallow holes to really, find this bedrock. And we ran these long regional holes. And in the area, we only ran 2 long holes, but right above the structure, we hit sort of between 1 and 3 grams per ton gold in that structure. So the Paubäcken, specifically the AIDA target, was the focus because of that base of till drilling. We obviously hit a discovery hole last year, and it was critical to go and show that this system is fertile. Most importantly, about 4 kilometers to the south of us is an operating mill. This is a mill owned by a company called Dragon Mining that is basically waiting to permit another deposit that they have. So, we're in a very interesting position, being about 4 kilometers from an operating mill that desperately needs feed.
So I must say and comment on your amazing backdrop that is of Sweden. It must be fascinating to work in that area. I mean, the landscape is just phenomenal.
Yeah, this is northern Sweden. This is a beautiful part of the world. And up in the Arctic Circle, you've got the Aurora Borealis. You've got a phenomenal backdrop, and really, the area we're working in is much flatter than this. We've got actually a very, level terrain that we're working through. So again, Sweden's a beautiful country full of, forestry and the geological potential is completely untapped. They've been mining gold for 1,000 years plus. And here we are, really just scratching the surface of what could be the next big discovery in Scandinavia.
Absolutely. And I think it's really helpful for the audience to put into perspective the actual landscape, to decipher between the fact that, what's behind you is not exactly what it looks like where you're working, because it's really helpful to kind of conceptualize that. So let's maybe talk about some of those next targets in your drilling program on that particular project.
Yeah, so we've got a large portfolio that we're actually focusing in on right around this Paubäcken project. So the structural corridor that we're looking at right now, we're going to complete this drill program. The proof of concept is going to be there, and ultimately we're going to want to systematically approach this 5-kilometer trend. But just to give you sort of a zoom out perspective, we're operating, on a 600-meter interval. We're testing a 5-kilometer structure, and we control 40 kilometers of that structure to the north. And right at the end of that concession is a 2.5 million ounce deposit owned by Agnico Eagle and Barsele Mining. So we're situated in a really exciting place. We want to systematically explore this 5-kilometer trend to start with. Key is to create value as quickly as possible. And the lowest hanging fruit is this new discovery that we have. But we've got 80 kilometers of this entire belt. We captured it at the real bottom of the market in 2016, 2017. So we're really excited to show that Paubäcken is a new district scale opportunity. Drilling, for the rest of this year and into next year is going to confirm that. And then ultimately, we've got almost 80 kilometers to the north that we want to systematically approach by flying geophysics, running surface sampling, as well as doing further base till drilling, and ultimately proving out, hopefully a really exciting new discovery in Scandinavia.
Absolutely. When you talk about that low-hanging fruit, not only very exciting for you, developments there, but also, I would say, for the investors. Can we talk a little bit about any hurdles that maybe you faced with this project and maybe how you plan to mitigate them?
Well, the biggest hurdle we faced in the last 12 months is just the financial and political environment in Europe. The world has gone through a major, market correction. The price of gold was impacted because of the strength of the U.S. dollar. You've got obviously some tensions in Europe with the Russia-Ukraine war going on. So, there's not much we can do about that aside from, we are based in Sweden. We are based in the northern part of the gold belt. So it really doesn't impact us day to day. We're trying to navigate the capital markets by not raising too much money and being very strategic in our drilling to sort of, really be able to re-rate the stock and re-rate the investment. And just step up and systematically approach this discovery. And really it's about offsetting your risk. And for us, we're sitting on a belt that we know has at least 6 million ounces of historical resource and production. We've got, producing mines, we've got soon to be permitted mines. The political landscape you've seen in Sweden, I think 2 new mines were permitted over the last 2-3 weeks. So you're seeing a positive development in permitting. So I think the biggest risk for us has been the capital markets and navigating the capital structure to protect shareholders and to create value through really putting money in the ground and drilling. And if we can get through a very conservative program and test this proof of concept and confirm it, it really sets us up to be, Scandinavia's got one of the greatest gold discoveries in the last few years. Rupert Resources just put out a fantastic, economic assessment here. They've shown almost a 50% internal rate of return and discovered 4 million ounces in about 2.5 years of exploration. So we know the upside is, hey, you can create $1 billion opportunity here through these large exploration opportunities. And we're sitting here as a $5 million company. And, how do you offset that risk? Well, for us, we're situated in a very convenient location, less than 4 kilometers from an operating mill. It's not like we have to make a multi-million ounce discovery here to make this a win. If we can go show 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 ounces of economic gold, that's worth $300, $400, $500 million. What would that be worth to a company that has an operating mill next door? It's a very unique situation where we've got road access, we've got, low cost of electricity. We've got an operating mill next door. We've got, great large companies on the belt, developing resources. We're really in a really good spot to create sort of immediate value, but also have that huge potential of creating $1 billion company.
Well, clearly a very sharp focus and a big mission, a big vision. I think also that trust really is established with your company because of your honesty and your transparency. And so I think that's very important to shareholders. Let's talk about some of the exciting new milestones that Goldline Resources is trying to accomplish and maybe what we can expect in 2023 and beyond.
So 2023 is obviously going to be a follow-up to the technical success that we're experiencing here at Paubäcken. The focus ultimately is going to be on proving out and trying to define a multi-million ounce opportunity at Paubäcken. But we've also got our Oijärvi project in Finland, which is very exciting. So we purchased this project off Agnico Eagle about a year and a half ago. What we're doing is we're basically setting up 2023 to be able to test the Oijärvi deposit. That's 300,000 ounces that we just put into a resource of about 4 grams per ton gold. And really, this is a 2-kilometer structure that we've shown is mineralized, and we have never tested that structure at depth. The deepest drill holes at Oijärvi are about 250 meters. When you've got a 2-kilometer structure, you've got the potential for a down dip of at least half of that. So let's say 1 kilometer depth potential. So it's going to be very easy for us to go and test this at depth. And these deposits, they're currently we're somewhere between 5 and 8 meters wide. As you dip, that can either pinch and close off and shut off the potential, or that can balloon and you can get these 40, 50 meter wide intercepts, which is exactly what happened with Rupert Resources. They did this shallow drilling, they confirmed mineralization, but the deeper drilling, these are orogenic systems that come from below. This is a larger ore body somewhere to be found here, and it's all blind drilling. So if we can get the right gold environment, our portfolio of projects, for us to be valued as a $5 million company, I've been through really good gold markets in the past. I've been involved in projects that were sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, and I've experienced, the highs of the market. And we're really at the lowest of the low in opportunity that we've seen here in the last sort of 5-10 years. If we get to the opposite end of that, if we see, a Fed pivot and the price of gold go to $2,200-$2,300, and you see capital inflows into the space, a company like ours with the portfolio we have in a first world country where the political climate is very stable and it's a very straightforward project. We should be worth $100 million just as the portfolio that we have. So you're going to see these kind of exciting markets hit us in the next few years, whether that's 2023 or not, we're not sure. But when we see that opportunity, you can be sure our team is going to be ready to capitalize on that, fund the company at much higher valuations, and really go prove out these really exciting geological projects that we have.
Yes, exciting and incredibly promising. Adam Cegielski, CEO and Director at Goldline Resources. What a pleasure it was speaking with you today. We thank you so much for sharing these impressive insights and prospects. We at Global One look forward to sharing updates with our audience very soon.
Thank you so much.